We are now on Saniyatul Ghaid, Jabal Rakuba. This was that difficult place that the Prophet ﷺ climbed up the mountain, and it is quite at a height at the moment. And if you can see behind us is Jabal Warqan, which is known now. Previously, it was known as Jabal Hamt, which the Prophet ﷺ has called it as Jabal Hamt. This is the highest mountain peak between Mecca and Medina. And the one which we see behind us, that is Jabal Warqan, that is the one that the Prophet ﷺ had climbed over going towards Medina. When the Prophet ﷺ reached here, he met a youngster, uh, probably the age of 16 or 17 years old, and he only had a small cloth that was covering him.
From
So
sheepskin.
from sheepskin. So the Prophet ﷺ asked him that, who are you and what has happened to you? So he says, "O Nabi of Allah, I am Abdul Uzza, and my parents had detained me when they heard that I want to come and meet you on the road of Medina, because I wanted to guide you into Medina. When they detained me, they beat me up. Then later on, when my mother felt me sorry, she opened the door and she let me go. Until my father took my clothes away from me. I found the sheepskin. I have wrapped it around me. I have come to take you to Medina." The Prophet ﷺ then named him Abdullah. Says, your name is not Abdul Uzza, your name is Abdullah Dhul Bijadain, meaning the sheepskin that he was wearing. That's why he's called Dhul Bijadain. He took the he took the reins of the camel of the Prophet ﷺ, and he walked with the camel. And then he was singing poetry, talking to the camel that, do you know who is upon you, which is the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, on one of his journeys, he continued to pass by this region. One of his journeys, he was passing by, and he seen this mountain behind us, which is now known as Warqan. He asked the people that, what is this mountain? So Jabal Hamt. The Prophet ﷺ said, no, this mountain is part of Jannah. This mountain is a mountain that is part of Jannah. Jabal Hamt, below it there's a Nahar.
Wadi Rim.
Below it is Wadi Rim.
Yeah, Wadi Rim.
Below it is Wadi Rim, Wadi Aqiq. The water of this mountain goes into Wadi Aqiq and Wadi Rim. Who
Dhul Bijadain.
Abdullah bin Dhul Bijadain, in the battle of Tabuk, he passed away.
Yeah.
He passed away in the battle of Tabuk. When the Prophet ﷺ was lowering him in the grave, Abdullah bin Masud radiallahu anhu says, I lit fire to cook the food. Then I seen that the Prophet ﷺ, Abu Bakr and Umar radiallahu anhu standing beside the grave, and the Prophet ﷺ is inside that grave and lowering Abdullah bin Dhul Bijadain into the grave. When he was lowering him, he said that, lower your companion.
Yeah.
He said, lower our companion into the grave, and he was lowered with the hands of the Prophet ﷺ. Abdullah bin Masud says, that was one day I wished that I was being lowered in the grave myself, because imagine being lowered in the grave by the hands of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that was that Sahabi Abdullah Dhul Bijadain. He met the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam here.